Tonight, I actually spoke with two of Lopez's attorneys who made it to the jail tonight for some sort of visit. I asked them that question directly. When could we see the sheriff get out? And they said simply, you will see soon enough. So we've been checking on my phone here. You can see on the website a $1 million bond that has not been fulfilled. So the sheriff is still here at the Lake County Jail. But there was one person who came through those doors tonight, and it was one of his co-defendants. Yeah, and in the video, you see him jumping off of his porch to run to this area that you see right behind me. I do want to mention right here live, you're seeing two of the vehicles that were struck by gunfire preparing to be towed away from the scene. I drove around the area. Traffic has absolutely been a nightmare. I got back on I-4 tonight, and I regret it. Take a look at this. This is another backup here along I-4. So about 47,000 civilians here in Central Florida work for the federal government, and many others could see the impacts in other ways. As for the active scene that you saw, it actually is right here. This box of chalk was inside of a Walmart delivery box when it was discovered. Everybody took precautionary measures. As you all saw, the area was taped off. Police, the fire department all made their way here to the Pulse site to make sure that this wasn't anything dangerous.
Tony, you spoke with an economist who says that minimum wage increases both have an up and possible downside.
Yeah, he said it's a good thing to see workers here in the state making more here, but he also says that an increase in minimum wage could also impact the state's cost of living in the long run.
I have never met that man. Never met that man.
Flustered and disheveled, 58-year-old Sheldon Weatherholt now out after posting a $100,000 bond.
I can't do this right now, please.
You intend to plead not guilty?
Of course.
He's charged with racketeering, accused of managing Fusion Social Club in Kissimmee.
All I did was licenses and leases. This was not anything that I thought was anything that it turned out to be.
Investigators say it's an illegal gambling operation with ties to suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. Court records say Lopez engaged with the operation for campaign contributions, personal payments, and kept his deputies away from the business.
I never met the man. I don't know who the man is. Please leave me alone, please.
Weatherholt claims he didn't know of any illegal actions and says he never met Lopez, who investigators say protected the illegal operation from deputies. Investigators say the operation raked in over $21 million. Weatherholt says he only saw small amounts of money and feels he's a fall guy in this operation.
I'll tell you exactly what I told the investigators, $300 a month. $300 a month. That was just to supplement my income to support my family.
Weatherholt is the third defendant to bond out in this case on those serious felony charges.
I feel like my whole world is crumbling down right now.
And investigators, they say they're still looking for other people who could potentially be connected to this operation. Again, the sheriff is still here at the Lake County Jail, and as soon as he will be released, we will be sure to have that update on his process as he potentially could post bond in this case. I'm covering Lake County tonight in Tavares. Tony Atkins, West 2 News.
Oh my God.
Gunshots.
Don't go out there.
And a plea from his wife.
Please stop.
Kyle Cutler springing into action after hearing gunfire near his Brevard County home around 4:30 Monday afternoon.
Broad daylight, and shots got rung out like that. It had to have been 20 shots at least.
When he got there,
one kid was dragging himself, and the other one was sitting there. One was shot up all in the leg. The other one was shot in the back, and then he was saying something about his girlfriend was shot, and that's whenever I look over, and she was slouched over in the chair.
Sheriff Wayne Ivey says this triple shooting was an ambush.
One of the vehicles was parked. Another vehicle pulled up and blocked it in, at which time multiple shooters got out and started firing at the vehicle that was parked. The three victims of the gunshots were all from the vehicle that was parked.
That vehicle, this white Toyota Corolla with large bullet holes. Deputies placed roughly 40 evidence markers down for shell casings.
It appears that the people that were shot were who they were after. It wasn't a random type thing. It was very focused on those individuals.
The sheriff says it's unclear exactly how many gunmen are out there. Kyle says he's hoping all 3 victims are able to pull through.
I was trying to yell at the girl, see if she would wake up at all, and she was just lunched over, man. I think she was just gone.
And back out here live, you're getting a live look at this Toyota Corolla that the victims were in. It's preparing to be towed away. You could see, possibly in the dark time here, you could see some of the bullet holes, including some damage done to some of the back windows of that vehicle. Again, at last check, investigators, they say all 3 victims were taken to a hospital. So far, we're still working to get updates on their conditions. As soon as we get that, we'll be sure to have it for you. Now, deputies, they also say if you know anything about who these gunmen could be, to give them a call. I'm covering Brevard County live in Cocoa tonight. Tony Atkins, West 2 News.
West 2 Tony Atkins joins us live at the sheriff's office tonight. Tony, you spoke to this woman and she took some desperate measures to save her dog.
Well, Stu, she said she did all she could to fight off this pit bull before it was suddenly yanked away by its owner, who she says she never saw again.
I jabbed him when he came once and he jumped back.
This is Shirley Passamanik, 70 years young and just 90 pounds. She says she's still recovering after a fight to save her dog's life on September 1st. What is that, a cane?
Yeah, no, I had my hand holding him like this.
She showed me video of the sudden attack. Her 14-year-old dog, Sparky, suddenly mauled by a pit bull.
He just, out of nowhere, unprovoked, bolted at us. And I did everything I could, and I ended up on the ground.
This video shows those moments, Shirley fighting to protect her dog, using her cane, and trying to pry the pit bull's jaws loose with her bare hands. Then
I couldn't open his mouth. I'm 90-pound, 70-year-old woman, you know what I mean? So I bit him on the back of the neck.
That's right, she bit the pit bull back, which actually worked.
I bit him. I had to. I'm 91. I'm like 91 pounds. I have no strength.
A man she says deputies are trying to track down suddenly comes into frame and yanks the dog away.
He stopped for a second. I thought he was coming back at us. Then I heard somebody behind me saying, I got it, I got him, I got him. And I said, get your dog. I didn't see the guy. I didn't even see what he looked like. He walks up, grabs the leash, and walks away. And I never got to see who that was.
And as for Sparky, he's a little jumpy and defensive for now, still shaken up from last week's attack. Shirley says the 14-year-old dog has helped her through some tough times, and she felt it was only right to do the same.
Really, he's the reason some days I get up, I have to walk him, I have to care for him. It gives an older person, reason to get up if they're feeling bummed out or depressed and stuff. You got to take care of your dog.
And Shirley says she still doesn't know who the owner of the pit bull was. I did reach out to the Orange County Sheriff's Office here. They say they are investigating what happened. I'm covering Orange County live at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Tony Atkins, West 2 News.
Yelled at his dad, I'll be back in a minute. I'm getting your son in. Just stay on that board.
This is David Bing Coffey in 1969. At the time, he was working a summer job as a young lifeguard in Volusia County. In his 2 years there, he says he only needed to help with minor rescues.
I rescued a couple people, back when I was a kid, but not anything like that.
Now, this is David today, age 72 and 55 years removed from that summer job. Just before noon on Tuesday, as he surfed the quiet beach at Clancy Park, he heard shouting.
I just heard somebody yelling, screaming, help, help. And I happened to look down the beach, and when I looked down the beach, this is out in the water, pretty far out, that I saw a guy floating backwards. And then I saw somebody else further in.
A father and son struggling to stay afloat after being pulled into a rip current.
He was underwater. I had to pull him up out of the water and pull him on my board.
David says he made 2 trips. First for the son, who lost his board after its leash snapped. Then a second trip, another for the boy's father, who was also in the current. The rescued required some of the toughest paddling David said he ever needed to do.
If I wasn't there, they would have been Bahamas underwater. I mean, I just happened to be, and good thing I was.
David says as he made that final trip back to shore, responders arrived. Everything was under control. This old dog surfer says while these aren't new tricks, he's glad these old tricks he picked up as a teen proved useful more than 50 years later. What did that moment mean to you?
It changed me. It was definitely a life-changing experience just to be able to actually, you know, save 2 lives and to where they might not have ever been found. And I've been on an adrenaline thing all day, just thinking about what happened. You know, just that thank God I was there.
Covering Volusia County in New Smyrna Beach, Tony Atkins, West 2 News. The dramatic shrieks from a wild boar caught in the cloak of night behind a house in the Lake Nona area. The person who shared this video says that overnight capture was heard all throughout the neighborhood.
Early morning.
But you aren't just hearing these boars, you're seeing them too.
I was out here the other night on a walk late at night, and I saw about 15 of them.
More and more, packs of over a dozen boars are wreaking havoc on lawns as well as people's wallets. Those people forced to pay for the cleanup.
You know, that's not something that I want to be responsible for, you know, like financially especially.
I've tried to keep on top of it, and I just gave up.
Sadly, Molly Holland's yard was one of the worst we've seen.
It's like, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back with these pigs.
And as you can see here, Molly's yard is a popular spot for these pigs. She says she doesn't know why, and right now she's looking at ways she can keep them away.
I don't necessarily want to hurt them, but, you know, this is just hard to manage.
With the Moss Park Natural Reserve backed up against their neighborhood, Molly understands there's only so much she, hog trappers, and neighborhood leaders can do.
I don't know what would be done other than like getting a fence put up, but then I'm offloading it on to the next person.
Covering Orange County near Lake Nona, Tony Atkins, West 2 News.